Very, very, very good morning, everybody. Today, let's start our preparation with understanding that Thursday was an expiry day. Friday markets were closed. Now, over Friday and the weekend also, I have to see if SGX was moving on Friday. And sometimes what happens is when you have a long weekend in a particular country and you have uh, other country markets which are continuously moving, something happening continuously, then we sometimes see the ripple effect of international markets on the long weekend. So we'll find out what is going on. My SGX chart is opening, it's taking time. Yeah, here it is. We'll find out what this is about. It's still not big enough. And have a look at how the Nifty is reacting in the SGX. Okay, as I did think of this before that when a lot of charts I was looking at, I spent a lot of time on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, since I was teaching, looking at a lot of charts anyway. A lot of things were pointing towards the downward direction, and a lot of things were also pointing towards the upward direction. But there's like if there's a pullback, market should go down. A few things which I have in mind are the zones which we are approaching. A few of the zones that we are approaching. So around over here, you know, this entire region is a potentially bullish region. The strong movements have cemented the prices. So when the price comes over here in these regions, we should look forward to wait and see what the price is doing. So since we get a strong indication that maybe the market will gap down, I don't know how much it will gap down, but suppose it gaps down over here and we see there is a strong consolidation, maybe we can again go up. Breakout points are typically strong support and resistance points. So we need to watch out for these zones of 950 zone, 11,950 zone, 950 to 930. Keeping the zone in mind is going to be of good help. Once the market starts going down, it starts pricing in. We also have Trump coming up. Srishti, there's a problem with the video freezing. Is the video for one? Let me check. Is my video moving now? Wait, what about the rest? Okay. Now, Now, okay, you can see it now. Okay. Hmm. So I guess now it is okay for everybody. So these zones, as I was saying, are going to be important zones to look forward to. Now, during the market hours yesterday, that is yesterday meaning previous session, Thursday, we saw market is not being able to cross this zone successfully and sustain above it. And on the hourly chart, we start seeing that there is now fall happening. I mean, having a gap down is still strong for a price movement without a strong significant structure. I've always said this, when there is a structure holding up a movement, there's a tendency the movement will be more reliable and stronger. Just like when you see a tree, which is a tall tree, the tall tree will have roots which are more deep, so the roots will be more intricate. So compared to this one and compared to this one, the structure over here was very weak over here. This is super strong. This is still very strong. This was not very strong. Still went up, and we are approaching this back now. So the movement was also not very pronounced. Now the thing is that over here you don't see a very big distribution pattern. So for the time being, even if we gap down, it is still quite an extreme move for the price to make. Okay, still quite an extreme move. On the hourly chart, anyway, if we come to these zones, okay, we have to keep in mind that these zones are important. So if the move is actually very strong, it is likely to continue. Then that means in the morning itself, market can be active and market can be full of participation. And you have to look for that. Anybody has to look for, an idea. One second, let me check. One has to look what happens in this zone if there's this continuous testing of support and then break, that those kind of situations will be ideal. Or else if we gap down, how the first 5 minutes and 15 minutes look, make it very important for us to see if the gap is holding up. Okay, so this is something which is very strong. So when I was looking at the stock charts, believe me, I did the look in the stock charts for like 4 times, all Nifty 50, Nifty F&O scripts, and I'm coming to no such conclusion. If there is, you know, there are only few stocks, like for example, Lupin. Lupin, I feel, is something we should look forward to, keep in our radar. We've always spoken about the downtrend which has existed. We saw continuously the same structure. ABC is happening, price is going down, price going down, price going down. ABC new low, ABC new low. So it makes a pullback every time after basing and then makes a new low. So all these pullbacks after these basings are finally taken out. So this basing was taken out, this basing is taken out, and now we are coming to the not just the hourly chart wise, the daily chart wise, we are heading towards a support. And there has been a lot of support taken over here recently. If we break this, of course, it is bearish. Second, at the same time, we are looking at the weekly chart, and there is a very strong support zone around 700, that 696 zone. It's a long-term zone, rather medium-term zone. A support taken over here, exactly where the price has taken multiple supports right now. And now if we break this, there should be a move movement which could espouse to be very powerful because it is intersecting two time frames. This is one thing we should be understanding. Now we saw some stocks like Torrent Pharma, Oro Pharma move significantly on the upside. And now pharma has become a little bit of a mixed bag. There is no one-sided dominant trend across the entire sector. Lupin has been somewhat an underperformer also. Because in the long term, there's one of the pharma stocks which is near its life in 52-week lows. So we need to look for such candidates, and especially if the market is weak also. And pharma can still go down in market is strong. So we've got multiple time frames on hourly, daily, and weekly, where recently a lot of support has been taken. Now the speed of the market can suddenly accelerate. The speed of the market can go down for maybe a day also. We can't anticipate that from now. But we can understand this is a situation. Then I was looking at stocks. A lot of things pointing down, but not giving a significant entry or pattern. Okay, so I thought let's me take some chance with certain stocks where I see that there's something which is coming up or which is already ripe in a certain way. Desert paint, although we have spoken about it earlier also, it's a weekly chart. So very rarely we see that okay, fine. Now, even though it is a long-term uptrend, now the structure over here is significant. And this structure over here of a distribution pattern with a series of lower lows and lower highs is telling me the story. Remember that monkey story? It's telling me the story that this is now possibly over with its distribution. Now, there has been a spike low over here, and this movement could be a corrective wave. So, we've got this as a potential, you know, invalidation point. So, if we design a trade on any pullback or anything, then maybe we could keep this as a stop loss. Okay, why I'm saying maybe because as the price unfolds, maybe some new things come up, or maybe some other kind of maybe it just gaps down over here and then it moves sideways and then you get an intraday trade. So let's wait and see how Berger paint unfolds. This is one stock which I'm seriously looking forward to have a look at. The auto stocks were not showing a lot of up move, even in the after the morning. Uh, you know, okay, this is not morning anyway. But yeah, there were a lot of not strong moves even when the market went up. What I mean to say, what I mean to say is that even if we was trying to cross the 12,130 mark, we have Maruti, we have Hero Moto. Don't see good strong moves. So you have Hero Moto, which is definitely a strong downtrend. It's almost near, it's lower than its previous low. It's trading below that area, and it is trading near its 52-week lows. Okay, so this so 52-week low is around 2230, and this is around 2240 right now. We are not very far. If we have to break these levels, given the fact that the trend is so strong, then we can break this eventually. We may consolidate a bit more above it, or we may break it right away. That's a different contention. But this is likely to be broken. And as a high probability bearish stock, I take Hero. Now, coming to Maruti now. Maruti is one stock which, there's this idea that, remember Mark Douglas once wrote in this book, he says that every move in the market is unique. And trading in the zone, in that he wrote, every move in the market is unique, and that is such a true statement. Whatever we see is always unique. It's just that some patterns show similarities. They're not like one on the top of other. They're not same like that. Now, what happens in the case of Maruti is that we've got something that looks like a hammer with. I'm not. It's not a hammer because the body is not small enough, but it's got a long wake, and the implications of a long wake with high volume we know. But if I move to the smaller time frame, if I move to the smaller time frame, that's the hourly chart. One second. Then I get to see that boss, this movement is showing me a very step by step sort of downtrend. And the last pullback we saw, which actually created that lower wave, was consolidating throughout Wednesday and most of Thursday. And we're falling from there. So any fall, if that continuation comes of the trend in Maruti, really would be looking forward to it. We broke these areas and we have taken a throwback at this point. So overall, a lot of confirmations for the trend continuation are there. Let's see how it unfolds. Now it's a little non-symmetrical or asymmetrical chart. You don't really see very clear, proportion between the moves below this, above this. You don't have clear levels on the daily. So that's again a little bit of a challenge. And there will be certain phases of the market when these kind of things will not be there. In those cases, we tend to focus on the flow of the trade and try to derive trades from candlestick patterns where there are not enough patterns related to the classical technical patterns on or the Elliott wave theory. Okay, so let's wait and see if this actually continues. And if yes, then we have to go even if there is not such symmetry in the price movement because we have got our evidence. So as a trader, we have to act on certain evidence and the weigh it properly. Now, if somebody feels uncomfortable with this kind of asymmetry, then fine, let go of the trade. Maybe the price settle down. But in the next few days, which as I said, Nifty will have this sometime it will come back to its normal thing after a lot of volatility, numbers of days of gap ups and gap downs, and how the pre-budget, post-budget scenario has been. The activity level may subdue sometime. Those are the times again you might see a 5 days phase, market is not really moving anywhere, that kind of thing. So it's okay if that sort of phase comes when they're not very tight patterns because they are the phase which make everything else more meaningful on the chart. So if you find a phase like, say for example, low volatility phase like this actually ends up espousing a move, creating an inertia later. So it is completely fine. Keep these things in mind. Similarly, the thing which I found out was again in Bajaj Auto, we saw the same kind of thing happening. This is an important zone which I have marked out. We saw the price consolidate above this zone. This zone has been marked out from quite some days now. So price is reconfirming this zone. Again, a chart which is not showing us any kind of pattern on the daily. But yes, the momentum is short-term downtrend, that of short-term downtrend. And we see how this will unfold. Just keep these as things which are downtrending on our radar. There are few stocks which are not really very bullish or bearish, but they're important at important zones. Okay, like for example, Reliance. Now the level of 1500, this on the chart, the line you can see is 1485, but the level of 1500 also, with this entire range, has been an important zone for Reliance. So this 1485 to 1500 zone is something important for Reliance from a long time. Now I'm not really sure exactly what one can look forward for bullishness, bearishness, or more sideways movement. But this should be a stock which you should keep on a radar, because many times on the important interaction zones, as we did in the very first class, the important interaction zones may not be a point where, not the first class we did in the like third class, but yeah, one of the first concepts that we did, first or second or third class. The most important point is maybe we don't see an up over and down move directly, a bounce taken or resistance taken, but we often see that the price is consolidating near this, and then something is happening, something very common. So keep that in mind, and having reliance on that note on your radar can be really good. Then I have a stock like Ashok Leyland. This is on the hourly chart. It broke out of a small consolidation and start trading above the previous resistance. So in two time frames, we've seen it. One, this breakout has happened. Two, this zone has been broken out. And three, we are now near a daily chart high. So the momentum has been up right now. The momentum has been up right now, and this is looking like a cup and handle pattern. A well developed handle, and we are at the brink of it moving above this zone. Now, obviously, I can expect more development in the handle at any given point of time. Don't want to be overconfident. But just looking at the volumes, looking at the virtue of these candles, maybe not today, in the next few days, might see something, might see something very interesting happening in Ashok Leyland. It's intermediate downtrend is also there, and you don't want to be overconfident with such stocks and then intermediate downtrends. But yes, what evidences are there are pretty strong. So wait, and only if this is taken out with strong moves, and if there is steam gathered by the markets, then we could be like thinking of, yes, we should participate. Totally, a lot depends on how the market unfolds also. A lot depends, how the market unfolds. This is the chart of SGX on the hourly. I'm making the daily chart also. It shows a strong gap down. We still have about 1 hour, 15 minutes for the market to start, or not 20 minutes. This could really mean major evidences of momentum. And it could also mean that a lot of stocks could be taking the market down. Some of the stocks could be taking the market down single-handedly. We do see that there is mild bearishness, but overall we are not seeing that there is bearishness everywhere. So what my general idea says. Of course, things might happen that it sort of converts into that situation, but must wait or not assume anything basically, right? So I had thought of that, okay, if Nifty just gives any kind of pullback in the morning, my plan would be to go short on the markets. But this is not the case right now. Although I have chalked down some stocks from the bearish angle. And just like Berger Paints, okay, no, not first, let's just take this and Jubilant Food. Let's take this. Jubilant Food we had already discussed once, and we discussed it at the end of this day. The morning moves were there on the higher, but again, we're heading towards a throwback, or we are doing a throwback, or we've done a correction. And Jubilant Food, obviously, it has been a weekly super strong trend, etc. Now, I do see something like a shooting star, a bearish engulfing over here. I want to be, saying that it's not that. But yes, the thing is that many times you do see on very super trending stocks that their candlesticks that are pointing against the trend, like even this set of candlesticks, but eventually they kind of continue because the trend is so super strong. And when the super strong trends, then it's like you don't need to sort of you don't need to double question it too much. Okay. The only question which I may be having over here is that suppose the worst case scenario, this is an intermediate high and the stock doesn't work out. Fine, I'm going to trade in options. If options are not liquid, I'm so keep a stock important for protection. But yes, there is accumulation pattern. And where has it taken resistance? It has taken resistance near the previous high. So you've got important interaction points which are telling you, okay, fine, this could have happened, this could probably consolidate here and go higher. Make a plan, and then this is one stock which could be traded from the bullish direction. Okay. And obviously the undertone of the market is something which we always respect. The undertone of the sector, which is something which we can respect if it is one-sided, right? That way. Apart from Berger Paints, I saw a distribution coming up on the stock Pidilite. Again, it's a super strong trend, and this is the hourly chart. Now, this zone is where the market has been recently taking support, and we have crossed this zone in a way. So, one stock which we'd like to, if this participates downward with the downward gap movement, that's a different thing. Right now, the risk to reward, keeping in mind that momentum is down, that is not bad. Probability would have been less, but again, as I said, you don't see generally this sort of distribution in super trending stocks. You don't see it suddenly. It often, like for example, DHFL went down. DHFL was a very super trending stock. Now it is like what? I think single digit, not single digit, but yeah, once it became single digit also. So when DHFL saw the massive down move, okay, before that you did start seeing, you did start seeing some distribution, some step by step reliable down move, etc. This is no coincidence that you saw a 6 days consolidation and then a breakout. And that breakout was a part of a breakout that took out a lot of supports. Okay. Uh, Over here, there were certain price structures which were showing us a downtrend, and that suddenly became very, very big. It was not a downtrend in a big time frame; it was downtrend in a small time frame. But then it was. I mean, this could not have been a coincidence, right? Now, I'm not saying like I know anything more than the Sunday news or I knew the news or anything. No, but the chart was talking about a general sense of distribution, a general sense of sideways consolidation. It was neutral, it turned bearish, and could have been participated in. So this is the thing. So guys, today I have got a small list, and we're going to see how the market unfolds. A lot of things to be noted that maybe some stocks which we have kept on our sideways radar in the recent past. Some stocks which have been, we made a radar of sideways also, right? There was Ultratech, Cement in that, etc., etc. So in the sideways radar, for those who are watching this on YouTube, watch my other videos and of the market preparation of the morning, as well as other educational videos. So in the sideways radar, many of them may see a breakout happening on the downside. The gap down is obviously, the market goes down, often more volatile than when the market goes up. So that can be volatile. That can change the chart picture a lot. So a lot of stocks, there's no point holding on too much from before that this will happen, that will happen. As a trader, you have to be very easy in the mind that you don't need to know anything. You just need to participate when it seems right. And if you miss something, it's okay. If you stop thinking that what if I miss something, what if I miss something, you will eventually not miss something. And eventually you might just get the right thing at the right time. Money management and consistency is important. So keep these things in mind. Look forward to how things unfold. And of course, there are important zones everywhere around. So a lot of stocks will give in the individual moves and individual things. And of course, Nifty can also give you a participation, a chance to make money in the right time, in the right place. Okay. So guys, let's make a small list and that will be it for today. Can you help me with the list? So started with stocks like Virgin Paints, Lupin, Maruti, and Bajaj. Keeping it sweet and simple, a small list, and this is mostly, you know, bearish list. Okay. Then we've got Reliance and Ultratech, which have been in the sideways list, worth keeping in radar on radar. Why Ultratech, sir? Because no, I do need to show you the chart since we are doing this session, but we've been seeing this chart for some time, and it's continuously in a range. So obviously that makes it sideways, and keeping on the radar to see what future holds for this, how it sort of how it continues if one directional move start, right? So that will be all for today. Thank you so much. It's a brand new week and a brand new day. I wish you all the best. Do your best. Have fun. And as I've taught you, and I'm very happy that most of you are doing that, be consistent in your mindset, and that will lead to consistency in your trading. Have the right money management. Be cool, calm, and enjoy yourself. Right? Thank you so much. Okay. Take care. Goodbye. Enjoy. Thank you. Bye bye.